Do you know who Seth Godin is?
Sure. Yeah.
I met him one day through USV. It was like one of those like meeting your heroes. I'm obsessed. I listen anytime he's on a podcast. I listen. I read his blog. He's brilliant. One of the things that he says is most startups fail. Most companies fail. It's just a matter of when, not if, right? Like it might be 15 years in, and then just imagine your company's going to fail. What will have made it worth it to do the whole journey anyway?
Ooh.
And I didn't like thinking about this question when I first heard it, but over time it's become desensitized, and now I can think about it. And I think that like, let's say in 10 years, whatever, crazy event, something goes wrong, and that's the end. What will have made these 15 years worth it? And I think it's the opportunity to get to work with this team. And it's like seeing your teammates excel and seeing them level up and seeing them do things that they're proud of and seeing them get recognized for the stuff that they're doing. Like no matter what the outcome is, that will have been worth it. And so I think sometimes it does get tough. And then you just like, if you can sort of hack the brain a bit of like, okay, but what if that happened today? I think it's a lot easier.
I love that. And I think it's interesting to think about what makes startups or projects, succeed or fail or whatever. And it's easy to focus on the idea and the thing. When in reality, you talk to founders, you talk to teams that are high performing, it's always about the team. And it's about an environment that fuels that, even if it's not success, the environment that fuels interest and output and good feeling among the team members. And, hopefully you have somebody on the team, or maybe it's you as the CEO, like your flute teacher, who's, creating a high standard and helping everybody achieve it in a loving but, tough way. And that team, figuring out how to grow a team is something that I think most people don't necessarily really think about when they start a company. They're usually thinking more about the idea and the opportunity and less about what it takes to make a team function well together.
There is an amazing blog post by Paul Graham called How Not to Die. And he says the myth that startups fail from competition, like that startups don't fail for external reasons. Most startups fail because the founders give up. If you just don't give up, you're going to make it. And I love all the examples of this. Like, do you know the Notion story?
Not really.
Notion is like a 12-year-old company or something. And their first 2.5 years, they didn't hit PMF. They were running out of cash. They had to let the whole team go. It was just the founders. They moved to a cheaper city and they just spent they just worked like crazy and rebuilt it from the ground up with everything they'd learned over the last 2.5 years. And now fast forward, Notion is like the incredible thing that it is. It's like they could have given up in that moment and they decided not to. And that's why Notion exists. And that's why all of us benefit from it.
It's like one thing to kind of hear about, to just know that that's true sort of in the abstract, but putting it into context with like real projects, real people, and seeing examples of that working. And there's also plenty of examples when it didn't work. But the fact that it is possible to make it work through those ups and downs is beautiful. And I think you're right. It probably has a lot to do with just the founders not giving up, but also not giving up together.
I think one thing also is that it's proof that it's helpful to think in timescales that are not today. Like giving up is a today decision, but if you think, where do we want to be a year from now? And then how do we work backwards to get there? It can make today a lot easier because you realize you're on a path to something. We recently had a conversation in the team about something. We have this like crazy edge case that we've been working on that's like really important to some users to fix. Like, and like we're racking our brain. We have no idea how to fix it. Like it's just, and we're like working day by day. Like, okay, what did we do today? Did we get any closer to the problem? And yesterday we had a moment as a team where we're like, well, let's say we want to fix it not today and tomorrow. Like, let's say we wanted to fix it a month from now. What will we do tomorrow? And suddenly like there was energy again. Like we can work on this, like what's our 6-week plan is a lot easier than like literally what are you doing right now to fix this?
Finding ways to give yourself perspective that can change the impression or the feel of things that may feel hard as a way of making them feel less hard and more approachable. I think that's really cool.